Good night, YouTube. I told you guys last vid about how my phone, I messed up my phone, and I'm using my tablet currently to make these videos, so the audio and the graphics gonna be like low, and the graphics gonna be not too good. That shouldn't be a problem. It's the audio what I'm really worried about. So yeah, I'm gonna try to talk a little bit louder. So just to update on me and the target individual I told you guys that I met, the Spanish woman. Starting on her first, because I have a lot to tell you about what's going on with me. So I showed you guys that the ambulance came and everything when she was having another panic attack induced by the direct-to-energy weapons. And I told you guys that I was gonna go to her and tell her about, you know, the control breathing, the distraction breathing that I was telling you guys about, so she can, like, you know, stop having panic attacks. I really feel bad for her. Look at this gang stalk right here. They do stuff like that. It may look like just a regular person, just, you know, like driving their car. It looks like a regular person that's, you know, like driving the car, showing off their ride and whatnot. But, you know, I know a gang stalker when I see one. They're always looking at you like that guy just now was looking at me, and they'll like do something like smile. Like, I have a lot to tell you guys. Like, I'm not even getting on me yet, because I'm gonna get on the target individual that I told you guys that I met. I'm gonna get on her first, and I'm gonna tell you another update on me. But yeah, so I told you guys that I was gonna tell her about, you know, distraction breathing and control breathing. The only problem is I went to her to tell her about, you know, the distraction breathing and everything. And when I went to her, she was actually outside of her house, and this lady is completely out of it. Now listen, I know that she's a target individual, but here is where things get even more sad. Sadly, a lot of target individuals are people who are actually on drugs and who are mentally ill. So because they're on drugs or mentally ill, people would think that they're not target individuals. They're just, you know, high, or they're insane. When the truth is, you can be both. People fail to understand that you can be both. Anything is possible in this world. Just because a target or someone who claims to be a target individual seems crazy, that doesn't always mean that they're crazy, and there's no truth to what they're saying, because you can be you can be mentally ill, have schizophrenia, and still be a target individual. And you can also be a druggie. You can also be like a crackhead, whatever, and still be a target individual. Because I don't know if you heard, a lot of these homeless people, they do it for money and this and that, but that's a whole different vid. But I tried to go to her and talk to her. She was I can't say on her side. It's like she was dazed. She was staring in one direction, not turning her head whatsoever, and not responding to me whatsoever. It was like she was like a zombie. It's like she wasn't a part of this world. She wasn't even in this world. So part of me, I know that she's for sure a target individual because of what she explained to me, and she's Spanish. I had to translate it on Google, you know what I mean? She was explaining to me. I know that she's a target individual because of what she was explaining to me. But I do feel as though she's probably is messed with drugs. Don't let that distract her from the fact that she's still a target individual. You know what I mean? Because, you know, noise campaign is noise campaign. She was describing the noise campaign that she's getting. But moving on. With me, it's the same. It's just the same old attacks that they do. You know what I mean? The helicopters, the drones, the Cessna planes. But this morning I got a call, right? Listen, I know that stuff happened in this world. I know that everything that seems close to gang stalking or related to gang stalking or seems like it's gang stalking is not always the case, but I don't know. Sometimes your mind just isn't telling you otherwise. I got a call this morning, a missed call, and I called that number back. When I called the number back, I said hello, and they said hello. And they acted as though they couldn't hear me. I said hello, and they said hello. And I said yes. No answer. So I said, okay, let me move on since we're just gonna like stay on the phone and act stupid. I said, did you call this number earlier? And this was her exact response. I don't forget anything. And this is her exact response. This is exactly what she said to me. She said, no, maybe someone's spamming you again. Like that voice that you do when you're about to laugh? She said, no, maybe someone's spamming you again. And she starts to laugh. And then I was like, okay. I said it just like that. I was like, okay. And I hung up the phone. So I know that a lot of these scam likely calls, I made a video talking about that. Talking about how these scam likely calls are sometimes gang stalkers, not always scam likely. Or whoever is in charge of scam, whatever you call them. But yeah, so I know that those calls are, I know you do have scam likely calls, but all I'm saying is it sounds kind of fishy how she said I didn't tell her that I was being spammed. I didn't tell her that. Spam or scam. She said spam. I didn't tell her that I was being either getting spamming calls or scamming calls. I didn't say any of that. So I don't know why you're telling me you're just because you don't know, or not only I didn't tell you, but you don't know what calls I get. So why are you telling me maybe you're just being spammed again? That don't make any sense. And then she's laughing. Why are you laughing? Nothing funny was said. This is only 9 seconds in this phone call. So I feel as though a lot of these gang stalkers do play like phone call tricks on you and all that, but that's just one of the things that they do. Just little tactics. It's like they try to get you in each and every way that they can and play little mind games with you. I told you guys about how I buy and sell stuff online, and they'll pretend to be customers, just little stuff like that. And I moved to these new apartments where I'm currently at right now. I would say I've been there only a month, and they already set up that community stalking thing that I told you guys about in the previous video, of how you have it's like wherever you go, they're gonna set up. I don't know how they do it. I don't know if they move there. I don't know. It beats me. That's how I know that this program is intelligent. It's really intelligent how they set stuff up. I don't know how they do it, but I feel as though they probably convince people to target. I don't know how they do it. I'm still trying to some days I think about it because I have so much on my mind. I don't have enough time to really do the thinking about it. But I know that they set up what I call community gang stalkers, around me, people that lives in my apartment. They are doing it. One thing that I know I'm not getting right now is the noise campaign. And I'm surprised of that. I'm literally surprised. Because I used to get that back when I first, found out that I was a target individual, but didn't exactly know what it was. And that was actually another video that I made. I was describing how one of the purposes of gang stalking. Let me wait until this sounds like a motorcycle. Yeah, so I was explaining that one of the purposes of gang stalking is, I think, something spiritual, because I don't get the same tactics that I used to get when I first found out I was being gang stalked. In my first stages, which is around 8 to 9 years ago, the possibility of before that. Because I remember I used to get the noise campaign, and literally I used to get this 24/7. I used to get footsteps on my roof, and it used to literally creep me out. Especially when I'm alone in the house, I would hear these footsteps, and I remember at first I was thinking, I wonder what these footsteps are. Could it possibly be an animal that's on the roof, or because it will have you thinking, because that's not something that's normal. You don't usually hear footsteps on your roof. And I wasn't living in an apartment. It was a house. It was my grandmother's house. I was living at my grandmother's house at the time. I also didn't finish that video explaining how my grandma's a target individual, and she calls us time to time telling us about her experience of being a target individual. And I'm the only person in the family who believes her, because no one knows about this gang stalking program. I mean, I try to tell my mom, but part of me believes like she doesn't believe it all. She claims that she does believe that it exists, but she still to this day she still calls my grandma crazy and this and that. And I know my grandmother. My grandmother, I grew up in church with her. She's a Christian, God-fearing woman. She's a nice lady and everything. She does have her bad ways. We used to go through our up and downs, but she was not crazy at all. My grandmother isn't crazy. And if she's crazy, she'll do other crazy stuff. That don't make any sense. What are you, just crazy in the gang stalking subject and the gang stalking type? That don't make any sense. If they always call these people crazy, but crazy isn't thinking that, you know, you're a target individual, thinking that people are following you and you're being watched. That's not crazy. That's just something that's being said. I never get when they call people like that crazy. But speaking of direct-to-energy weapons being used, I have difficulty breathing when I'm making these videos. This video is already started 11 minutes ago, and my anxiety is about killing me. I can barely breathe right now. I'm really fighting to get this information out to you guys. So what I'm gonna do is just end the video here, and if my anxiety gives me the chance to make another video, I will do so. As usual, thanks for listening to what I had to say. Have a good night. God bless. Stay safe.